course, on a show called The American Dream, you got to talk about the real estate game, but I love getting into niche expertise. Joining us out of Beverly Hills, Kofi Nartey. You are with Compass. You're an author of Celebrity. You got a $60 million listing, and you're coaching realtors on luxury real estate and helping celebrities sell their home and more, right? So thanks for coming on the show.
Of course. It's great to be here,
So
Craig.
let's dive right in, man. I mean,
Sure.
everything about what you do is cool and sexy, right? Working with celebrities, luxury real estate, it's something that I think entertains just about everybody.
Right.
And it's obviously your profession and your business. So talk about that, working in the luxury real estate market out of Beverly Hills. How is it?
Well, first, it's cool and sexy on the surface.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like cool, calm, and collected, like the duck on water. But we're pedaling every single day, working with not only celebrity clients, but high net worth individuals, high expectations. We're working with their gatekeepers, the business managers, the wealth managers. And when people operate and function at that level, their expectations of service are also elevated.
Sure.
So we have to be able to step up and step into that seamlessly.
Okay, so explain how you do step up, because
Sure.
selling a median price home is probably a different approach than your recent $60 million listing. How do you step up?
Well, first, it's understanding their lifestyles, right? And so if you haven't had exposure, you want to gain that exposure just so you can manage their expectations. When you reach a certain level in any industry, a lot of things are taken care of for you.
Right.
Even with the celebrities, they have craft services on set. They have people driving them places.
Yep.
They get to show up and just focus on what they need to focus on. So for us, it takes a level of understanding of the market. So the first thing is trust, and trust comes from understanding the market,
Sure.
knowing that you have the expertise, knowing that you have the integrity. And everyone who's part of my team and part of even our sports and entertainment division nationally has been vetted to not only have real estate experience, but specific experience working with people in sports and entertainment.
Right, so you're very well niched. You're talking about that market expertise. What about marketing expertise, right?
Right.
Taking a multi-million-dollar property to market, what's the approach to get the right eyeballs? And of course, anyone who's selling their home wants top dollar. How do we do that?
It's a process. One, you have to understand who your target demographic is. A lot of things that we talk about in real estate pertain to other industries, but we apply them to real estate and we apply them to selling the story of a property.
Sure.
Right? I'll repeat that because that's really a big part of it.
Yep.
Selling the story of the property. So who are you selling that story to? Who is the home appropriate for? How do you articulate that in a way where the buyer can see themselves, hear themselves, smell themselves living in that specific property?
So how do you do it? Video, I assume?
Well, a lot of it is, one, even understanding the property itself. So we tour the property, we ask the clients to tell us stories about living there. It's something a lot of agents don't do. You know, you go, you look at the four walls, you look at the bedrooms, you have the specifics, but I want to know what it was like to live here. And as they're telling me that, I'm translating that into a story that I can then tell prospective buyers.
Got it.
Then we capture the story, right? We capture the story through the photography, professional photography, day, night, twilight, the sexy shots, then the videos, all of the things that capture the essence of that story. And then we use that for the marketing.
Now, when you get it out, how important is digital and social in today's world?
It's more important than ever. And it's continuing to grow in the different vehicles through social, the different vehicles through digital. We have to stay on top of that. We have to meet our clients where they are.
Don't you feel like a lot of agents ignore it or romanticize about the past? And kind of skip the fact that this is where, it shouldn't even be called social media anymore. It should be called the internet. This is where commerce happens, and it's certainly critical for real estate. Don't you think a lot of agents skip over that?
I think that it's not necessarily that they skip over it. I think they're a little bit unaware of how important it is, and some of them have challenges transitioning. So they use it as an excuse more so than skipping over it. They say,
I think I framed that as romanticizing about the
romanticizing,
past.
exactly. They say, well, I'd rather just meet with someone in person, or I'd rather, call somebody.
I'm referral based. I'm all relationship. No one's suggesting that real estate's not a relationship business, but now there's more connectivity than ever before.
Exactly.
And you're attracting, in many cases, international buyers, cash buyers. You got to get the word out in a different way than you used to.
Totally different way, and it's important to utilize that technology. I use the term tech lux, right? It's technology supporting the luxury experience.
Yep.
And you don't lose the connection with people, but 87% of home searches start online.
Yep.
So you have to be online. You have to have that presence. I mean, it's kind of why I wear two watches, right? I have the tech, and then I have the lux, right?
See this?
It's my daily reminder. Plus, my wife bought me this one, so
Love it. All right, well, then you got to wear it.
Got to wear it.
So you've written this book, Celebrity, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So I've been in real estate for 15, 16 years now, and about 11 of those years I've focused on sports and entertainment as a niche. So the book Celebrity, Celebrity, is how to build a successful sports and entertainment-based business. And I wrote it really for any industry. If you want to focus on selling to celebrities, athletes, entertainers, you have to understand certain principles, certain techniques, and that's probably the number one call that I get, an email that I get. How do you break into, celebrity and luxury real estate? So I wanted to write a book that I could share with people.
A lot of people try and break in, but they're unable to.
Correct.
So what I like about it is you mentioned that it's not just the real estate vertical. It's a kind of a B2B book that you're helping other business professionals understand maybe the mindset, the approach, and the execution on working with these high-class athletes.
Exactly.
What are some good takeaways? Why should someone read the book?
I think, one, if you're trying to work with celebrities and high net worth individuals, there's going to be a lot of takeaways. Two, I went to business school while I was in real estate. Okay. And I did that because of the level of clients that I was looking to service and what I wanted to bring to those clients. Wow. So interspersed throughout the book are a lot of just business practices, marketing techniques, things that anyone can use in any industry. So, and then three, it's a short book. I mean, I wrote it myself. I didn't have a ghostwriter, and that's between full-time business, 2 kids.
I don't even know if that registered with people, but I mean, if you're gonna write a book, write the damn book.
Right.
The ghostwriter thing. There's just so much phoniness out there. I'm glad you actually wrote the book, big or small. I know it's from personal experience. You're sharing 100%. Your story, 100%. And you got a great story. I mean, you're dominating the game in Beverly Hills. You're the luxury expert up there, writing books and coaching all at the same time. Appreciate you coming on the show.
Of course, it's a pleasure being here, Craig.
Find him on social media and 2 watches.
2 watches.
That's a good one. Making the wife happy. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks again.
All right, more of the American Dream coming up next. The American Dream is now spanning across 23 cities. Real estate, a big topic of conversation. Well, it's one thing to find your dream home. It's another thing to finance your dream home. Dave Savage, who is a mortgage guru, the CEO of Mortgage Coach, looked up to by many in the industry, joins us on the show. Dave, good to have you on.
It's great to be on the show, Craig. Always love having great conversations with you.
Yeah, so let's talk about the mortgage side of things. Seems like the industry is in a bit of chaos and disruption right now. From your point of view, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it depends. The best of the best are still killing it. We just had in the news that Zillow bought a mortgage company. I mean, at the end of the day, for the best local mortgage professionals, it's an opportunity. I mean, giving great advice, helping families make the best decisions, it's as good as ever, and the best of the best are thriving.
I have to get you to comment on that, the Zillow and the Amazon thing. I just saw that as well. What do you think that's going to do to the marketplace?
I mean, everything that makes mortgages faster, more efficient, creates a modern experience for the family, I think it's great. Yeah. I mean, for mortgage professionals that aren't embracing technology, they're not using mobile apps to help families make better decisions, it puts pressure on them to do so. But I think anything that's good for the family, good for the consumer, takes time out of the equation, ultimately is good for everybody.
I think in those states of chaos, there's opportunity to gain market share. You can't really gain market share if you're not a great marketer. Explain how the world has moved in digitally, socially, as it pertains to the mortgage industry.
Well, I mean, you're a great example of that, of how you have built this show that helps local mortgage professionals become the digital mayor in the markets that they serve, how you're helping them connect with agents, realtors that are serious about education and serious about communication in their local markets. So, I mean, I just think your show itself is a leading example of how to show leadership, because at the end of the day, it's all about communication. What does a family want when they get a home or a mortgage? They want communication. Be straight with me, be candid with me. What do agents work with, the loan officers they work with? They want good communication. So I think it's great.
Yeah, I appreciate the shout out there, Dave. And I want to go a little bit deeper. Full disclosure to our audience, in every city that we launch the American Dream, we isolate one elite expert in the mortgage space to be the voice for that marketplace. So it could be talking about loan product, interest rates, information that consumers or realtors should know. Dave has facilitated many of the introductions to who we've chosen to be that exclusive expert. Dave, why have you chosen those specific people, the Ryan Kiefers, the Kelly Zitlows, the Rick Scherers, the Andy Tuttles? I mean, these are some of the best in the business, but why did you think they'd be a good fit out of those cities?
Well, I mean, Mortgage Coach was founded on this belief that the best mortgage professional is the best teacher. someone that's an educator that leads with advice and education. And so, every time you're coming into a city, I look at who are the best mortgage coaches, because those are loan officers that believe that, they don't want to talk about rates and fees with families. They want to talk about hopes and dreams. What are your hopes and dreams around building wealth with real estate? And then let me help you get a mortgage decision that aligns around those hopes and dreams. So, it's really easy. With the amazing community that we built up, I pick the loan officers that are having the most hopes and dreams conversations, using technology to help families understand how to achieve their hopes and dreams with mortgage decisions. It's a layup, Craig. It's just the perfect partnership.
Dave, so with this industry moving as quickly as it is, not just this industry, but every industry with technology and the digital age that we're in, what do you think our conversation looks like in a year from now?
Boy, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Well, I do not believe technology will eliminate loan officers or realtors, but I do believe that loan officers and realtors who master technology to deliver a high-touch, high-tech experience will absolutely take out the loan officers that don't. So I think that'll just become more obvious and evident a year from now. 2-3 years from now, it's going to be glaringly obvious.
And what advice would you give to anybody who is buying a home or refinancing a home? So B2C, give us some consumer advice here.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, when you're buying a home, you need options. Anybody that's just providing hey, here's the loan, you should do it, that's someone who's selling a rate and a payment and a product. So get options. Those should be delivered so that there's graphs and charts. And if you're consuming it from a mobile device, you got it out. You can look at your options. We call it a total cost analysis, but I think every family that gets, whether you're going from renting to owning, whether you're moving up, whether you're picking between FHA and conventional, get a total cost analysis and work with a loan officer that does that.
Dave Savage is the guru in the mortgage space. Always great having you on the American Dream. Thank you, Dave, for coming on the show.
It's always an honor, Craig. It's good to talk with you, buddy.
All right, more of the American Dream coming up next.
Welcome back to the American Dream. I want to welcome my next guest, who is no stranger to the program on today, Arthur Deych. He's the broker-owner of Red Tree Real Estate and Swing Line Property Management. Arthur, thank you so much for being here today.
Hi, Jen. It's a pleasure.
So, Arthur, do you think that it's a good idea for people to hire a property manager if they're looking to rent out their home?
If you're not handy yourself, I highly suggest that you have a property manager. Personally, I think the easiest way to find out is you look at your hands, and if they're as smooth as a baby's bottom, you should probably hire a property manager. At the end of the day, it is a security blanket, and it's not a huge expense if you get a person committed to not only helping the home, but also taking the time to realize what you're paying for. You're paying for peace of mind. You're paying to go on vacation and not worry about your property. You're also paying to not go in the middle of the night and let your tenant in if they, lock themselves out.
So does sticking to one agency hold the owner back of renting out and their full potential of their property?
So there's property managers, and then there's rental agents in rental companies. But if you have someone with a licensed and insured property management company and a real estate agency such as myself, it's all under one balloon. So what happens is not only do we care about the person that we're going to put into that apartment, we're also there to guide the whole expectation through the year of the quality and assurance that the landlord, the tenant, and ourselves are all going to justify the happiness of the prolonged lease that the tenant signs. So whether it's 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, we're all in it together.
Sure, you're really streamlining the entire process for everybody and really making it easier for everyone involved.
Yeah, the whole process for a realtor to sign a lease and then give the keys away leaves the landlord vulnerable. When you have a property management company involved in the whole tactic, that means that not only does the landlord have skin in the game, but also the person who has to deal with the day-to-day tasks of upkeeping the apartment has skin in the game. Validating the person they put in. So not only is it credit check or job verification, it's also the type of person and persona that they have to deal with on a regular basis. So everyone should be happy with the person that they find liable to live in that apartment.
Sure. Well, as we know, Arthur, it really comes down to the numbers. So what does this cost? How much does it cost to use your services in particular?
It is free. No, just joking. There are services that are paid for me waking up, making sure that person is happy and living in a safe environment. It is 5% of the monthly rent. Now, if the apartment is not rented, I don't make a dime. So it's very important to notice that the justification of not only leasing it, but leasing it to the best person and for the most money is motivating to myself as a manager and owner of Swingline Property Management. A lot of other management companies don't necessarily take the same theme. What they do is they get paid no matter what, and anytime, even if they have to just, raise their phone to their ear and call a plumber, they get paid for their service. If I don't personally have to come to your home, if I don't personally have to make sure something is done, then I actually don't get paid an additional fee. I'm not trying to make more money than the plumber or electrician or the handyman is costing the landlord.
What I'm hearing from you, Arthur, is it really sounds like a win-win. And as you said, if you don't want calluses on your hands and you don't want 2 a.m. wake-up phone calls because something happened with the plumbing, then I think using a service such as Swingline Property Management is certainly in our viewers' best interest. Arthur, great to have you on the program, as always.
Thank you.
Welcome back to The American Dream as we now focus in on your local Boston market. My next guests are Ben Perotta and Kate Richard. They are team leaders and co-owners of Ben and Kate Real Estate with Keller Williams. Thank you both so much for being on the show. Great to see you again.
Great to see you too. Thanks for having us.
Thanks again.
Oh, my pleasure. So you two are really the faces of Ben and Kate Real Estate, but you have an extensive team behind you. Tell me a little bit about an individual versus a team atmosphere as far as real estate.
Sure. So there's a lot of individual agents out there, and what people don't realize is there's a lot that goes into real estate transactions, not just on the purchase side when you're buying a home, but obviously on the listing side. And once Ben and I became partners, we quickly realized that we wanted to deliver a very high level of customer service. And so we wanted to gather a team of specialists in each of these areas to help our clients and to provide a high level of service to them. That includes a transaction coordinator, somebody that's really running the transactions, also somebody that's helping with our marketing and pre-listing activities. So but basically you're taken care of from start to finish.
Well, and you two really are leaders when it comes to this team model. How does a team benefit your clients?
Well, I mean, for us, basically like Kate said, with the individual components of a team, in comparison to an individual agent, one of the biggest things we get out there is, clients will say to us, well, I got an agent who says, they're a team, but when you work with me, you only have to answer to me. I'm an individual person. You'll always get me on the phone. And what we found is when we break it down and we add a group of specialists that can specialize in buyers, that can specialize in the transactions and help us out with the listings, at the end of the day, it seems that most people just want to get really, really good service. And we feel by breaking it up and having everyone have their own specialty on the team, that people are really excited about it, and they feel like they've gotten a really good customer service at the end of the day. Specifically in the buyer's market, if a house needs to be seen on a Saturday, it's a really competitive market, and it has to be seen on a certain day or you might not get that property. With our team, there's always someone around that can get them out there and show them a property.
Sure, and in this case, more really is better.
Absolutely, absolutely. If we're out on the road and a question needs to be answered, our clients just want to know that there's somebody that can answer it quickly and accurately.
Sure. So are you always looking for new talent? Is your team capped out?
Absolutely not. Great question. We are currently looking for people. We're actually always looking for people
talent
to join the team. We'll talk to anyone who's talented, has a deep desire to work on a team, likes real estate, wants to help people, and just wants to have a lot of fun. That's one thing about Kate and I and our team, and I think that's something that we differ from other people, is that we want to have do a good amount of business, but we want to have a lot of fun doing it at the same time.
You have a lot of fun doing it, but you two are top producers in the industry. I want to switch gears with you a little bit now and just talk about the market in general. We're coming off of a really hot spring market. What are you seeing in the market currently?
Well, we just actually looked at the June statistics from the Massachusetts Association of Realtors, and what was a little bit surprising was that home sales were actually down, but the median price for single families rose. And in fact, in June was a record-setting month where the average cost of a single family home in the state of Massachusetts is $430,000. So we're looking at record low inventory and increased prices. It's really setting us up for a continued seller's market.
Well, that's fantastic. And even though there is record low inventory, there is one home that is on the market. This is a gorgeous listing that you have. I know you wanted to highlight it and talk about it today. It's at 11 Wood Holloway in Hanover. Tell me a little bit about this property.
It's excellent. It's a new construction project that we have on at $799, a new neighborhood, a tremendous value on the South Shore of Massachusetts for new construction, just under $800,000, especially a town like Hanover. Offers a ton of detail, and again, it's just a value for that price point in the South Shore of Massachusetts for new construction.
Yeah, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, beautiful open space with each room is really spacious, which is unique in today's new construction market, as well as really beautiful large windows. It's quite a property.
It's a beautiful property, and of course, if our viewers are interested in that property or any others in the Boston area, they can go to your website, benandkaterealestate.com. Thank you both so much for being back on The American Dream.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks again.
My next two guests are realtors with Gibson Sotheby's International Realty out of Boston. I have Dino Confalone and Sarah Rodewald. Thank you both so much for being on the show.
Hey, Jen.
So, Dino, in unison, I love it. Dino, I want to start with you. I know that we're at the top of the market right now, but there's always opportunities out there. What kind of opportunities do you give to your developer clients that are coming to you?
So when we're in the market every day, we do get presented with opportunities that are sometimes off market, and if they financially make sense, I do present them to basically a handful of developers that we work with that are looking for some really great projects. They're pretty much looking from a financial perspective to see the cap rate. They want to make sure that the numbers make sense, whether it be a residential or commercial mixed-use building. So if it's near a train station, or we work a lot in Cambridge and Somerville, in the Boston area, but we like to really come up with a great opportunity for a developer. We'll bring them to the property, go through the financials, and hopefully we can present a great offer to the seller.
Sure. Sarah, how do you provide value to your investor clients?
Well, there are definitely a number of ways. One is providing neighborhood information, so that way they know if the investment is actually going to be worth their time, what they're going to end up selling the place for. There are investors that actually just want to buy a property and hold on to it. So oftentimes they won't even develop the property. They just want to continue to rent it out. So we help them with a lot of that analysis as well too.
So you have clients coming to you and you're basically giving them all the options.
Correct.
Sure.
We are the experts.
You certainly are.
So a lot of a lot of our developers, when they see something, pretty much an owner that's had a, say, hypothetically, like 25-unit building for 30, 40 years in their portfolio, there's a lot of deferred maintenance. There's a lot of value in that because most likely the tenants are paying under market for rent. And a developer is going to come in there, do a little bit of updates, maybe put some granite countertops, and they can jack up the rents probably within 6 months to a year when these tenants end up transitioning out. So there's a lot of value. There's a lot of money to be made in these opportunities. And that's one of the things that we do is we really try to present those to our developers and hit it out of the park.
Well, and as Sarah said, the neighborhoods also contribute to the value. So you give them all of the options and present them with all the facts, which is why you two are two of the best in the business. I do actually want to talk to you a little bit about a couple of properties. One is actually an off-market opportunity. This is just a piece of land?
So we'll talk. We have two actually. So I'll bring up the one. We do have about 1/3 of an acre in North Cambridge that is ready for 4 townhouses. We're about to present them to a couple of our off-market developers, but there's an absolutely huge potential. It's within walking distance of Alewife and Davis Square, and it's just basically a pure piece of land that is ready for building. And then we have another one that's in Quincy, where I'm born and raised, and Sarah can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so this one's really interesting because it's actually a group of investors that have owned the property for a really long time, and they've decided to finally bring it out and potentially sell it off. So it's 21 apartments, and there's parking that comes with it. It's in Quincy Center, which they say now is the new Somerville. So if you know where Somerville is, that is definitely a value add. Right next to the T, so you could hold it, you could increase the rents, or you could potentially, you know, maybe turn it into condos later. So there's a lot that you could do with something like that. So it's probably going to be around 5.9, maybe between 5 and 6 million.
Fantastic. So we've got a 21-unit residential building and a fabulous piece of land. I think we've given our viewers some great investment opportunities today. Dino, Sarah, thank you so much for being back on the show.
Thanks, Jen. See you next week.
Thank you.
That's all for today's show. See you next week.